Greetings and welcome to the Author Spotlight for the Eastern Region's Delta Authors on Tour, a signature event developed by the National Arts and Letters Commission of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. The Pittsburgh Alumnae Chapter is proud to serve as the host chapter for the Eastern Region. The purpose of the Delta Authors on Tour is to promote literacy and the talents of over 340 Delta authors within our sisterhood. This literary extravaganza will be held Saturday, May the 6th, 2023 at the University of Pittsburgh. The theme, Bridges to Literary Excellence, will feature 8 phenomenal authors whose works are comprised of fiction, nonfiction, and a myriad of genres and topics that will appeal to all interests. We are proud to have the opportunity to spotlight our own gifted writers and assist them in selling their books. This event will support Black women entrepreneurs, celebrate the joy of reading, inspire our creativity, and instill a sense of pride. I'm your host, Dr. Tysana Jones from the Pittsburgh Alumnae Chapter. Today, I'm joined with J. Robin Jones, author of Life Lessons, Journey to My Dopeness. She is currently the president of Valley Forge Alumnae Chapter and is a past member of the Pittsburgh Alumnae Chapter, a double graduate from the University of Pittsburgh with a master's degree from the School of Social Work. She has several postgraduate certifications in school counseling and marriage and family therapy. Currently, she has a blog, Life Lessons with Jay, and is a high school counselor with the Philadelphia School District. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Jones. This title is everything. Let's talk about what inspires you.
So, my special, her name is Penda James, and she is my scribe coach. And she and I have always supported one another along this writing process. And I always knew what dope meant growing up. Everybody had a different meaning. And so the book title and just me using the word dope for me means that I am I am defining my own dopeness, right? I am an owner of my uniqueness, and I am persevering through adversities, and I'm emphatic about my peace walk. So that is what being dope means to me. And so the title was, when you go through some of the things that I went through, particularly in this book, and going through stories with Penda, she, like, express your dope, because we often sometimes look at what women go through and think, this is what strong looks like, or this is what weak looks like. And for me, even in my strong points of life and in my weak points of life, I was still dope. I was still handling, I was still maintaining, I was still persevering, I was still pushing through. I was still discovering my love for myself. So for me, the title fits just my journey in life, just living a dope life, a journey life of just discovery.
Lovely. I love that. I love that acronym of dope. And dope is a word that I use regularly. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write down your definition of dope as it continues to evolve and what that means for me as I write. So let's talk about your writing process. You talked about having a scribe coach. So tell me about your writing process as a whole.
So I always wrote. I always would, journal and try to write poetry and wrote some music and did some things. And it just was my own creative way. I'm the youngest of 8, didn't really have anybody to play with. So writing and doing those things were just my way to express myself. But more so for the book particularly, it was just me pouring through things that I had gone through and revisiting stories and piecing together what I needed to tell about my story and what I needed to continue to keep for myself as I continue this journey of life, and I develop and I introspect and I look and grow. So for me, it was just going through my journals and writing voice notes to myself and writing letters back to myself and talking to myself then and who I am now, and piecing that together was part of this process. But it was just a bunch of old journals that I had just, pulled together and looked at, when they say, look where you brought me from, that's what this was me looking back and realizing that I had an intent to be purposeful about my life moving forward.
Awesome. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. So who are you writing this for? And how do you think that your writing is appealing to them?
I am writing for the woman who doesn't have a voice or feels like she doesn't have a voice, the woman who is a victim and feel stuck in her situation, my daughters who have had traumatic experiences, my friends who have been through bad relationships, been in abuse, suffer some, some setbacks. This book is for that person. And it's also for maybe the male who has done some things and gets to look and see, I had a friend who read it and he was like, I had to go make some apologies, so it's for anybody to know that, like, it's just a story. Everybody has a story. So it's my story. And I mean, we all have parallel things that we can look at. But for me, it was just the ability to tell my story and my truth so that it could bless other people, because I found in my transparency, I was freeing other people, ultimately being able to free myself.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. I love the fact that the brother was like, oh, wait, I got to call some people. I got to do some things.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to when you're reading something. What does it make you physically do? And how does that change your moving forward? So thank you for putting those thoughts to action and those words down so that others can have an opportunity to move their life through understanding and thinking about yours. So what advice would you give to aspiring writers who are trying to find their voice and even looking at the publication process?
I think that, the main thing is owning your truth, knowing what your purpose is, and understanding that you have, we all have different purposes and different audiences. And so, what am I trying to accomplish? Who am I trying to reach? Who do I need in my corner? You have to have people who are going to hold you accountable, whether it is a scribe coach or an editor, whatever you need to, or just accountability people. If I say I want to be done by a certain time and, I have people in my life like, well, where are you? Or are you writing? And my special pender will always just text me, are you writing? Or if I was saying I was going through something, she would say, write through it. And so that's always our thing to each other, write through it. That is my main thing to tell someone, write through it. Make sure you have good people in your corner. Make sure you have someone who knows what to do when it comes to publishing, whether it's a scribe coach or not, know whether you want to go, how you want to be published, how you want to get your money. Is it do you want the publisher to write you a check and, or do you want to self-publish? I self-publish. And there's ups and downs to both sides. So I think it's knowing, how do you want to get your word out and what venues you want to do that in.
Thank you so much. So there's choices to be made. So just making sure that people do their work and finding out what works best for them and why they're doing what they're doing. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. What's on the horizon? Are you writing or working on something new?
I am. So I am in the next phase of my journey, and in the next book will be called Life Lessons, DAOT Clarity. So now that I have had, I'm exposed to this journey and I'm learning about my dopeness. Now, as I said, I'm an introspector. What have I learned as I've now had time to step away from some of the things and places and causes of pain, and in my healing process and in my peace walk, what is God saying to me and speaking to me clearly in this next phase of my life? And it's definitely been eye-awakening, and it's just been DAOT clarity. So that's what I'm working on next.
That sounds dope. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to read your work and to see you in May. Thanks again for sitting down with us. And we just look forward to spending some time with you on the Delta Authors on Tour.
Thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to seeing you all in May.